That awkward moment when your wife is still in grade school, am I right, guys? If My Wife Becomes an Elementary School Student is an interesting choice for a title because of the implications. When there was a live action that came out using the same name, it was fine. But when it was announced as an anime/manga, there were mixed feelings because of the implications. What was done here is what I believe the locals call clickbait, or an FBI trap. But what if I told you that this was one of the most unique, heartwarming, and wholesome anime that I've seen? Outside of the title, nothing weird goes on in the show, so get those emojis out of here! Let me give you a satire synopsis of the anime, so spoilers for the first few episodes of the anime. This is a love story, so play the music. No, the other music. Keisuke is a youthful dreamer, a salesman with plans to implement a service so that businesses can accept multiple payment methods. No. Only 2 characters talk in this scene, so I'm being reused with a different voice. No.
私は可能性を感じました。
Keisuke starts talking to Takai. She even shares her bento with him. This one-in-a-million meeting is something that you'll never experience. True love. But it's up to him to make the next move. I've done the math. The time between her receiving the message and responding was 2.37 seconds. If you take into account the delay between phones during that period, she messaged in 1.67 seconds before he sent his message. To demonstrate this absurd speed, I brought in a professional button masher that has the world record for fastest time to leave his daughter in God of War.
Thank you for the introduction. I always say,
Go! This single moment is what created their future together. They got married, had a little girl named Mai. Takai even made lunches for him every day before work. Truly the American dream. This perfect life is what I see every day, right before my alarm goes off. Sure hope nothing bad happens to them. At this moment, time stopped for them. Takai was the glue that held their family together, and now that was gone. 10 years have passed, and Keisuke and Mai never moved on from that day and were living in r/male living space, so they're doing pretty good until the doorbell rang. Alright, let's think, what would you do in this situation? Yeah, that's an option. She tells them that she was reincarnated, only recently getting her memories back, and she had to intervene after seeing the sorry state of her family.
Can we kill her again?
Takai is virtually a walking inspirational speech that fixes her family. Hey loser daughter, get a job. Hey loser husband who made his sole purpose for living me, have a bento box. And all was right in the world. But if the story was that simple, it would be written on Tumblr. There's also Takai's new life where she has to blend in as an elementary schooler named Marika. I would struggle with this aspect because if I had all of my knowledge I gained in my 4 years in college and my 4 days in law school, I still wouldn't be able to keep up. Her parents recently went through a messy divorce. You know what that means. Double Christmas! And abusive mom, but you take your pros with the cons. Her mom has been lashing out on her daughter, abusing her, but like in the Asian way. You know, where they let you know that you will never amount to anything. You are a failure no matter what you do, and they will never be proud of you. Also, she doesn't get double Christmas, which is definitely the worst part. That's about it. It's a story of how losing someone too soon can stop time for you if you aren't able to move on, so you have to let him go. I'm letting you go. Scar? I loved this show, and you guys put it below Ari Ferretta? I fucking hate Ari Ferretta. But I am an adult, and understand that that's just my opinion, and everyone is entitled to their own. But Ari Ferretta? I love a good drama. Women yelling at each other with ridiculous faces, walking in slow motion in the rain, and goofy deaths with sad music. I say this because, wow, this is tougher than I thought coming out to you like this, but I like pumpkin spice lattes.
Taylor Swift music is actually really good. You belong to me. I like dogs and horses a bit more than I should.
Basically, I have the taste of a quirked up white girl who wears Uggs during the summer, which is why I loved the show when others probably won't, because it's a character development based story. The characters are all pathetic, but understandable, like Ben Affleck. Keisuke was an awful father for 10 years, never able to put the death of his wife behind him to be there to raise his daughter. You probably understand this feeling if you were affected by the Club Penguin server shutting down. Keisuke is also very stupid, but like in an enduring way because of, what's the word?
Codependency.
Mai never had what she needed growing up, so is it any surprise that she ended up on 4chan all day? Yet the moment she got her mother back, things finally began to go her way to the point she never wants them to change. Shika is one of my favorite portrayals of an abusive parent, and her character really resonates with me as a former abuser myself. She came from an abusive household, which is why this scene is one of my favorites, showing how easily children become their parents. The author portrayed an abusive childhood perfectly, with many of the scenes looking all too familiar. Seeing if their shoes were there when you got home, hearing screaming outside of your door, and sitting on the stairs listening to see what mood they're in. All signs I saw growing up in movies I would watch next to my very loving parents. And to all of those people who said, "Why didn't she just report her mom for abuse?" Look at you. I bet your parents remembered all your birthdays. Here's what would happen.
We got a call about child abuse from your child.
What?
Yeah, so you should probably beat your child for wasting our time.
Go pick out the sticker, you get beat.
The skinny stick should hurt less. Ah, it hurts more. Ah, why does it hurt more? It's smaller. Ah, that's what she said.
Let's talk about the problems. They marketed this to the completely wrong audience. It felt aimed at guys like me that wanted to make fun of the show and people that play Blue Archive. This is all the fault of the title. Really, if my wife becomes an elementary school student, that was what you went with? Because of it, you got people like this watching. Someone check his, everything. I would change it to something that fits the tone more, like Lost Time or avoiding child support but not oncoming traffic. Although this would create a new problem. How is the mangaka gonna survive being homeless with nobody buying his manga? Despite the clickbait title, I will say there are no weird scenes in the show. Rudius could never. The animation is, well, it's animated, and animated better than Ari Ferretta, some would say. The same could be said about the character designs, because they sure do look like characters. I do worry that they'll condense it all into one season, so the pacing may get a little Promised Neverlandy, but I hope not. Spoilers for the manga, because I want to talk about the ending, and let's be real, most likely you already read it or aren't going to read it and clicked on this video to see some guy make jokes about an anime with a funny name. My first thought while reading the manga was the story's okay, but the art isn't amazing. My final thought was,
as humanity looks back in its final moments at all of its creation, will this not be what they hold at the peak of it all?
But the art isn't amazing. I did like how the mangaka improved as an artist as the characters progressed. It wasn't done on purpose, but it was still cool. As for the ending, I did it. Me! I guessed the ending correctly at the start. This is a special occasion to me because this happens as often as China loses at ping pong in the Olympics. Basically, how it ends is they figure out that Takai was not reincarnated but was possessing the body of Marika. So they need to let her pass on because she's taking time away from an innocent girl. To do this, Takai needed to be completely at peace, believing her family will be fine without her. This was done so well. The amount of times Keisuke broke down, almost changing his mind to make her stay, felt so natural. Because it's not easy to let go of the things that you love. There's no joke, I just have serious attachment issues. There was so much character development in the last few chapters when they were letting her go. I was crying like a teenage waitress when a middle-aged man is yelling at her because his cheeseburger is cooked medium well instead of medium well. But it didn't give me post-anime depression, so on a cry scale, I give it 3 Waluigi wah! Out of 10. This could have easily been some degenerate anime with an insane title to make money, but it turned out to be a beautiful story about loss with an insane title to make money. Is it a masterpiece? No, because Ichie Ishibumi already wrote all of those. But it is still better than Ari Ferretta. And to those who say this is just crybait, Fuck you, I like crybait. But remember, the good things in your life can disappear at any moment, so don't go living with regrets.
Regrets like not subscribing to my YouTube channel so I can get my parents to say they're proud of me when I hit 100,000 subscribers.
Hello, Outro Luna here. Click here to check out the most recent video. Click here to check out the recommended video, and click here to check out the second channel. It rained today.